Hey friends, welcome back to Stappystamper. My name is Terry Stapp and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator located in Central Texas. I have for you today the long-awaited Boo Buddy Craft number 5. We are making this absolutely amazing gift bag. Now I'm going to tell you that this is not my idea. I was watching a video on YouTube from Stamp with Joy, and I have copied her method for making this gift bag. She didn't use the same paper, obviously didn't use the same stamps because we're using current stamp set, and her ribbon is a little bit different and such, but the process for making the bag came from Stamp with Joy. So I'm going to show you that today. What you're going to need is one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. We have one sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. Stampin' Up's designer series paper is double-sided, so choose the side that you want. You are going to score, I've already scored, but you're going to score on one side at 3 inches and at 9 inches. Or if you're like me and just remember one number, score at 3 inches, turn it, flip it around, score at 3 inches. On the other side, you're going to score at 5 inches and 7 inches. Or if you're like me, score at 5 inches, flip it around, and score at 5 inches. You only have to remember two numbers, 3 and 5. Take your bone folder and burnish the edges. I've already done this, but you're just going to take your bone folder. Make sure you have really good creases along each side. Okay. And then decide which paper, which side do you want to have the showing on the outside and which side do you want to have on the inside. So I want this orange paper to be facing out. So I have it down and I am looking at the one of the sides that has the 3-inch score on it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start folding it in. So I'm going to fold it over. Now this is the only kind of tricky part. It did take me a little bit to figure out the folding system. But basically you have a fold line right here. Okay, a score line. And you're going to take it and you want this line to match up with the bottom here. So it looks something like this. You're going to take it and fold it. And then the inside looks like this. Okay, the outside matches. And I'm going to crease it with my fingers. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and give that a really good crease. So you can see the side looks like this. And the inside looks like this. Okay. It took me a little bit to get the hang of it. So I'm going to do it again. We're going to take our fold right here, our crease, our score line, and we're going to bring it to match up with this side. So it's going to look something like this. I'm going to take it and match it up right down here with the edge. Once you have it, it's easy peasy, but I did have to watch her video several times just to get the folding bit down. And you have one side of your bag done. Okay, we're going to fold the same thing. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it up. I'm going to take this corner no, it's not a corner. I'm going to take this score line and I'm going to fold it over so it lines up with the edge. Okay. And then I'm going to crease it with my fingers on the inside and with my bone folder. Okay. Last corner, last section of the bag. We're going to do the same thing. Here's my score line. It's going to match up right here. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to fold it over so that it matches up. Just like that. And then I'm going to crease the inside with my finger. And then with my bone folder. Okay. Now, we have the creases all done. So I'd recommend doing that part first, is doing the creases. Okay. The next thing we're going to want to do is do some gluing. So we have it all folded and creased. Now we want to glue some things together. So we're going to start with this section right here. You have a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a quadrilateral right here that you're going to want to glue and adhere like that. Okay, so I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm just going to put it around the outside, a little bit in the middle, and I'm going to glue that down. Okay. The next thing we're going to glue is this piece right here. So this triangle is going to get glued right there. Okay, so I'm going to add glue here along each side. Make sure I get it nice to the edges, but not so much it's going to gush out. And then this is going to get glued together. So that's one part of the bag. So that's one of 4 of the corners. Okay, I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add glue here to my quadrilateral, glue it down, and then I'm going to add glue here and glue that. I'm going to do that on all of the sides so that I am, I've made my bag, and I will meet you right back here. All right, so your bag should look like my bag. We have the front, back, side, and side. So look for anything like this, like, can you see that's kind of not sticking very well? So take your bone folder and you're just gonna put it, I'm gonna put it flat, but I'm gonna show you here. You're gonna run it along there, reach inside. I'm gonna take my bone folder and just press it down really well so that it will adhere nicely. Here's another part. So I'm gonna take my bone folder and I'm just gonna run it along the edge. Be careful, don't poke it through your paper. But I'm just gonna run it along the edge on the inside and really close that up nicely to get a good adherence. Okay, that's basically the bag. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this one back in so you can see, is you want to add your handle. So I added some ribbon. I added grommets or eyelets. So you can, you could hole punch it and then run your ribbon through, but this number 1 is going to make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit more polished and finished. And number 2, it's going to make it so that the ribbon doesn't tear the paper of the bag. So let me show you how to do that. I have the good old trusty Crop-A-Dile, okay? Stampin' Up! Carried these a long time ago, but I'm sure that you could find it. If you don't have one, I'm sure you could find it on Amazon or something like that. If not, get yourself a hole punch. And the Crop-A-Dile has two sizes. So there's one right here for the hole punch, and then a little bit smaller. I tried the smaller eyelets, and they were, I think they were the 3mm, and they were too small for the ribbon. So I'm going to use the larger one. I got some 4mm eyelets, and I think that's going to work a little bit better. So I'm going to use the larger hole, and I'm going to hold my bag together. So I'm going to line it up. I don't want it offset. I want it nice and lined up together. And I'm going to take my hole punch, decide where I want my hole to be, and I'm just going to punch it through both at the same time. Okay, so now I'm going to measure, and that's about 1 1/8 inches over and about 1/2 inch, about 5/8 of an inch down. So I'm going to measure over here about 1 1/8 and about, this is very not technical, just kind of a best guesstimate. So I want it right about there. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I don't want it to look wonky. All right, let's put it right there. That looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to put in the eyelets, also using the Crop-A-Dile. So if you don't have a Crop-A-Dile, I found at Hobby Lobby, I found some silver eyelets that have the little anvil and the little setting tool. And if you have a hammer, you can put your eyelet in and do that, and you can set your eyelets that way. If you have a Crop-A-Dile, you're going to take your eyelet, you're going to put it in the hole, okay? So it has a peg and like a dome. The peg is going to go on the outside, and it's going to go inside of that hole. Okay, like that. And then it's lined up, and you're just going to give it a squeeze, and it sets your eyelet. So now you have a very professional looking eyelet set into your bag. So I'm going to do the other 3 holes just like that and meet you right back here. Okay, I have all of my grommets, my eyelets set. There's 2 on that side, 2 on that side. I have pre-stamped. I'm back to the Sweet Halloween stamp set, and I used the Boo Crew to stamp. I stamped the bird, raven, crow, whatever that is. Gave it a googly eye. I love the googly eyes. I did this on very vanilla, and then I used my stitched rectangles to cut it out, and then used the next size up stitched rectangle to cut out a piece of basic black. I have already put dimensionals on the back, so I'm going to peel off the backings. of the dimensionals, and you can see the middle two look like normal dimensionals, but these are kind of running out, and that there's around the outside of the pack, there are a bunch of things that are left. So if I use all of those, you're going to have this border. Still good stuff. Same dimensional material. I just take it and I go clip, 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 and I cut it up, and I use that as well. It doesn't have to be perfect hexagon. It could be any of those pieces. It works all the same. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it here. I'm going to set it lightly. Make sure it's straight and where I want it. Looks good. And I'm going to push it down. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to use my hand on the inside to get those dimensionals to adhere to the side of the bag. Okay, so the last thing I need is my ribbon. I have some organdy ribbon here. It's kind of an ivory color. And I'm going to string this through my eyelets. I want the bow to be in the front, so I'm going to string this end through like this and like this. And then I'm going to take my other end and string it through. Uh-oh. Try that again. And like this. So I know I want a little bit of a handle, so I'm going to kind of get it until it looks about right, about even. That looks like a good handle. I'm going to take my two ends in the front and you know what? I'm going to pull this back up so it's not quite so in your face. Now I found it easier to kind of tie a knot. Then if you want to tie a little bow, you can, or you can just leave it like that. Maybe trim the ends off. But then you have the little handles on the bag. I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So I will trim that and trim that. And then you have a cute little gift bag. You could stuff it with candy, whatever treats for Halloween. I did find these little baggies here at Hobby Lobby as well. So they're little zipper bags. And I'm going to stuff it with, I made some ghost toasties, which is kind of like the puppy chow, like the Christmas mix where you take like Rice Chex, cereal and peanut butter and chocolate and mix that all up and then put it in powdered sugar. It's the same thing except you're using peanut butter and butterscotch chips. I have that setting out and drying. I made it earlier. I can put a post slide up with the recipe if you're interested. But I'm going to fill that with the ghost toasties, zip it up, and then put it right here in this cute little bag. And it's going to make a nice little Halloween treat for my granddaughter's kindergarten teacher. There you go. The long-awaited Boo Buddy craft number 5. Thank you for your patience. And I will see you next Wednesday for my next video. I believe it is going to be the 3D sunflower embossing folder. I'll have 3 cards with that. So I'll do a series of cards with that embossing folder that you won't want to miss, of course. So I'll see you next Wednesday. And until then, happy stamping.